In a small village within the vast Ottoman Empire during the late 1500s, lived an 18-year-old young man named Suleiman. He hailed from a long line of powerful warriors, and like many young men of his time, he aspired to join the Ottoman cavalry, the backbone of the empire's military might. Yet, despite his physical prowess, Suleiman was held back by one major obstacle: his mind. His constant overthinking and self-doubt clouded his ability to perform with the precision and strength required of a true warrior. Suleiman's internal conflict. Suleiman's internal conflict was a battle of the mind, far more complex than any physical training he endured. His strength and skill were evident, and his lineage boasted generations of powerful warriors. But it was his own mind that became his greatest obstacle. Each time he prepared for a training session, doubts would cloud his thoughts. As he practiced alongside his peers, his mental chatter would intensify, dissecting every move he made with relentless scrutiny. In these moments, Suleiman would question his every decision. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Or worse, dishonor my family? What if I'm not cut out for this life? These thoughts echoed in his mind, feeding his insecurities and preventing him from acting with confidence. While his fellow trainees seemed to move with instinct and precision, Suleiman found himself stuck, unable to fully commit to a decision without first overanalyzing every possible outcome. This mental tug-of-war drained him. He could feel his body's strength, but his mind weighed him down, trapping him in a loop of overthinking. Each sword swing felt heavy, not because of his physical capabilities, but because of the fear and anxiety that accompanied each action. His heart raced not from exertion, but from the worry that he would fall short of expectations. Yet what Suleiman didn't immediately realize was that these inner struggles were shaping him in ways unseen. The conflict within was preparing him for something far greater than just physical battles. It was teaching him resilience. While his peers honed their bodies, Suleiman was unknowingly sharpening his mind, preparing to eventually conquer the doubts that plagued him and to emerge stronger, both physically and mentally. This journey of overcoming internal conflict would be the true test of his character. Overthinking, a warrior's biggest enemy. For any warrior, hesitation is a fatal flaw. In the heat of battle, there's no time for second-guessing or overanalyzing each move. Overthinking, as Suleiman quickly learned, was not just a nuisance, but his greatest enemy. Despite his impressive physical strength and natural talent, it was his inability to quiet his mind that held him back from reaching his full potential. In battle simulations, while his fellow trainees acted with swift instinct and precision, Suleiman was caught in a mental maze of what-ifs. Each swing of his sword was delayed by the nagging voice in his head. What if I miss? What if I expose a weakness? What if this decision leads to failure? These thoughts acted like invisible chains, holding him down and paralyzing him in moments when quick, decisive action was required. His muscles were ready, but his mind refused to cooperate, rendering his physical strength almost useless. Suleiman soon began to realize that true strength wasn't just about physical prowess. It was about mental clarity. The most successful warriors weren't always the strongest or the fastest. They were the ones who could make split-second decisions with unwavering confidence. They moved with precision, not because they were free from doubt, but because they had trained their minds to push through the noise, trusting their instincts and training without hesitation. As Suleiman reflected on his struggles, he began to see overthinking for what it really was, a form of fear. It was the fear of failure, of making the wrong move, of not living up to expectations. But as a warrior, fear was something that had to be faced head-on, not allowed to fester in the mind. Suleiman understood that conquering overthinking was just as crucial as mastering his sword. His journey to becoming a great warrior wasn't about perfecting his physical abilities, but rather about overcoming the mental battles that threatened to defeat him before he ever stepped onto the battlefield. The role of Suleiman's father, Yusuf, Suleiman's father, played a pivotal role in shaping his son's journey, not only as a mentor, but also as a compassionate parent. Yusuf had long recognized Suleiman's immense potential. His son was strong, disciplined, and eager to learn, but what concerned Yusuf the most was Suleiman's persistent self-doubt. He knew that strength alone wasn't enough to succeed as a warrior. A clear, confident mind was just as important, if not more so. As a seasoned warrior himself, Yusuf had faced his own battles with fear and uncertainty. He understood that every warrior, no matter how skilled, has moments of doubt. To help Suleiman, Yusuf would share stories from his own past, tales of difficult decisions he had made, moments when he, too, had been unsure of the outcome. But he also made it clear that over time, he learned to trust his instincts, knowing that hesitation could be more dangerous than a wrong decision. Yusuf wanted Suleiman to understand that uncertainty was a natural part of life, but it shouldn't paralyze him. Yusuf took a balanced approach in guiding Suleiman. He didn't push his son too hard, but encouraged him to look within and recognize his strengths. Through both practical training and heartfelt conversations, Yusuf taught Suleiman that the key to overcoming doubt wasn't eliminating it altogether, but learning to act in spite of it. The elder warrior often reminded Suleiman that even the greatest warriors had fears. They just didn't let them dictate their actions. Despite his father's wisdom, the lesson of self-trust would take time for Suleiman to fully absorb. It wasn't something that could be taught overnight. Yusuf was patient, knowing that his son's path was unique. He continued to stand by Suleiman, providing both the support and the gentle push he needed to confront his internal battles. Yusuf's role wasn't just about teaching combat skills. It was about nurturing his son's confidence and preparing him for the mental challenges of life as a warrior. The wisdom of the scholars. In addition to his physical training, Suleiman had the privilege of learning from some of the most respected scholars of his time. These scholars were not just experts in philosophy or literature. They understood the deep connection between the mind and the body, especially for a warrior. While Suleiman was focused on mastering the physical aspects of combat, these wise teachers reminded him that true strength came from within. They often repeated the idea that a warrior's greatest battle is not against his enemy, but against his own thoughts. The scholars introduced Suleiman to the concept that the mind could either be a warrior's greatest ally or his worst enemy. They taught him that before a man can conquer the battlefield, he must first conquer his own doubts, fears, and inner turmoil. Suleiman learned that the strength of the body would amount to little if his mind was constantly clouded by anxiety and second-guessing. Through their teachings, he realized that mental discipline was just as important, if not more so, than physical strength. These scholars offered Suleiman practical tools to calm his overactive mind. Meditation became a key practice in his daily routine. They taught him the power of silence, how sitting in stillness could clear the mental clutter and allow him to focus. Deep breathing techniques were also introduced, helping him learn how to control his racing heart and quiet his thoughts during moments of pressure. In time, Suleiman began to understand how these seemingly simple practices could make a profound difference in his ability to act with precision and confidence. The wisdom of the scholars became a guiding force in Suleiman's development. As he embraced their teachings, he slowly started to overcome the mental blocks that had previously held him back. It wasn't an immediate transformation, but over time, Suleiman grew more in control of his thoughts, which allowed him to unlock his full potential as a warrior. The scholar's wisdom was invaluable, teaching him that the mind, when disciplined, could be the source of his greatest strength. The warrior's perspective. Suleiman's interactions with veteran warriors added a crucial dimension to his training. These battle-hardened soldiers, with years of experience behind them, showed him a different side of being a fighter. One of the most important lessons they imparted was that courage isn't about being fearless. Instead, it's about the ability to move forward, even when fear is present. They emphasized that every warrior, no matter how skilled, faces fear before battle. What separates the great from the average is the ability to act in spite of that fear. The veterans shared stories of close encounters in battle, where hesitation could have been fatal. They spoke of moments where quick, instinctive decisions had saved their lives, teaching Suleiman that overanalysis in such high-stakes situations was dangerous. From them, Suleiman realized that overthinking was a luxury a warrior simply couldn't afford. Time wasted on doubts or what-ifs could mean the difference between life and death. These seasoned warriors also helped Suleiman understand the importance of trust, trusting his training, his instincts, and his fellow soldiers. Their wisdom was invaluable, reinforcing the idea that decisiveness and clarity of mind were essential in the heat of battle. The battle within. Suleiman's daily struggles. Every day, Suleiman fought an internal battle far more challenging than the physical training he endured. His mind was a battlefield, constantly flooded with worries and doubts that made even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Whether he was preparing for a mock battle or engaging in routine drills, his thoughts would spiral out of control. The pressure to live up to his family's esteemed reputation weighed heavily on his shoulders, making him feel as though every misstep could bring shame to his lineage. Suleiman's greatest fear wasn't failure itself, but the idea that his shortcomings would dishonor his family's name. This fear paralyzed him, turning what should have been confident decisions into moments of hesitation. Each day felt like a test, not just of his physical abilities but of his worth as a son and a warrior. The weight of expectation was immense, making every action feel monumental in his mind. These daily struggles became a constant source of frustration, as Suleiman knew that until he could quiet his inner turmoil, he would never reach his true potential. The power of belief and action. As Suleiman began to cultivate belief in himself, everything changed. The shift wasn't immediate, but as his confidence grew, so did his ability to perform. His movements, once hesitant and overthought, became fluid and instinctive. Decisions that once took him several moments of agonizing doubt were now made in an instant, with a clarity he hadn't known before. The training he had received over the years finally began to show its true potential, as he realized that all the knowledge in the world meant nothing if he didn't trust himself to use it. Suleiman's turning point came when he embraced the inherent uncertainty of battle. He stopped waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect decision, and instead learned to act decisively, trusting both his instincts and his training. He recognized that every moment of hesitation had been holding him back, keeping him from becoming the warrior he was meant to be. By taking action, Suleiman unlocked his true potential. He saw that belief in oneself was just as important as any physical strength or skill. This newfound confidence allowed him to move with a purpose, transforming him from a hesitant trainee into a capable and focused warrior. Suleiman's transformation. Suleiman's transformation was evident to all who knew him. The young man who had once been plagued by hesitation and doubt now carried himself with a quiet, unwavering confidence. His mind, once clouded with endless overanalysis, was now clear and focused. During training, Suleiman no longer second-guessed his every move. Instead, he acted with speed and precision, much to the admiration of his fellow soldiers and instructors. His swift and decisive actions earned him newfound respect. The instructors who once worried about his overthinking now praised his progress, and his peers began to look up to him. Suleiman's change wasn't just in his physical performance, but in his mental fortitude. He had come to understand that his greatest battle had not been fought with his body, but with his own mind. By conquering his inner struggles, Suleiman had unlocked his full potential. The fear and doubt that once held him back had been replaced by self-belief and trust in his abilities. This transformation marked a new chapter in his life, one where he could finally fulfill the legacy of his lineage and move forward with a sense of purpose and pride. Lessons learned from Suleiman's journey. Suleiman's journey serves as a powerful reminder that the toughest battles we face are often within our own minds. Despite his impressive physical strength and rigorous training, it was his mental struggles that truly held him back. Through his experiences, he learned that clarity of mind and self-confidence are just as vital as physical prowess in achieving success. Suleiman's story teaches us that overthinking and self-doubt can paralyze even the most capable individuals. The constant second-guessing and fear of failure prevented him from realizing his potential. However, by shifting his mindset, embracing uncertainty, and trusting in his training, he was able to overcome these mental blocks and transform into a decisive and capable warrior. The lessons from Suleiman's journey apply to all areas of life, not just the battlefield. Suleiman's future in the Ottoman cavalry. With his newfound confidence, Suleiman was poised to embark on an exciting journey within the ranks of the Ottoman cavalry. His transformation was not merely about mastering the physical demands of combat. It also equipped him with the mental resilience needed to inspire and lead others. As he continued to train, Suleiman quickly became recognized as a key figure in the cavalry. His peers admired his ability to make quick decisions, even under pressure, showcasing a level of composure that had once eluded him. Suleiman's journey from doubt to confidence resonated with those around him, as he demonstrated that true strength comes from both the body and the mind. His unwavering belief in himself became a source of motivation for his fellow warriors, many of whom struggled with their own insecurities. This ability to uplift and rally others solidified his role as a natural leader. As he took on more responsibilities within the cavalry, Suleiman found himself not just preparing for battles, but also strategizing for the future. His keen insight and decisive nature positioned him as a rising star in the Ottoman military, and he knew that this was only the beginning of a remarkable journey filled with honor, courage, and leadership. Conclusion. Suleiman's story is one of perseverance and inner strength. It shows us that while external battles are important, the battles we fight within ourselves are the ones that truly define us. For Suleiman, overcoming his doubts was the key to unlocking his full potential as a warrior, and his journey serves as a reminder that true strength comes from the mind as much as it does from the body.